Good evening, fastball fans, and welcome inside John Miller Field here at the world-famous Circle Tap Bar and Grill just on the outskirts of Denmark in Wisconsin. Blair Setford and special guest Matt Palazzo with you this evening as we've got the world number one New York Gremlins taking on the Bear Creek Express, the only team, Matt Palazzo, to hand them a defeat this year. Really looking forward to this one. This has got all the hallmarks of a barn burner.
This is the one that folks have been ready for. Gave the Gremlins a loss on the first game of the year.
First pitch of the game, in for a strike from Jack Bexgrove. Let's set the batting order for you for the Bear Creek Express. Leading off, it is Jordan Pomeroy, the left-handed batter at the plate. Brandon Horn will be batting second for the Bear Creek Express out of Chippewa-on-the-Thames in southwestern Ontario. Tyler Pauli in the 3 spot. Quentin Bruce, Colin Walsh, Ryan Boland bats 6. Jason Hill, designated player 7. Jeff Lyons 8. And David Galino hits in the 9 spot for the Express. Jordan Pomeroy fouls this one off. Defensively for the New York Gremlins, Matthew Wan left. Beninoka, center field, Brian Avery in right, Jerome Remeke, Cole Evans, Ladislaw Malarzouk, and Eric Ochoa around the horn on the infield. Jack Bexgrove is on the mound. Nick Mullins behind the plate, the battery for the Gremlins. And Matt Palazzo, when you're 19 years old and you might already be the best in the world at something, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's good. You know, this is a big moment for this kid. We're gonna find out a lot tonight on how he handles a little adversity because, as you know, there's going to be some tonight. So it's going to be a great game. There's a big crowd here. Pretty excited for this one.
Bexgrove strikes out Pomeroy. They've had a little bit of success against Bexgrove. They faced him a couple of times. They've scored a couple of runs. They know they can put the ball in play against this young left-handed phenom from Australia, who has just burst on the softball world in the last 8 or 9 months. Brandon Horn swings and misses over the top of a drop ball. I mean, you've been standing behind the screen when Bexgrove pitches. Have you seen movement like that in quite a while?
Yeah, but I will say he's got great stuff. 2 of the first 5 pitches, he's caught a lot of plate. He's going to have to be careful a little bit here.
Upstairs to Brandon Horn. Well, there's the good hitter's eye that Matt Palazzo brings to the table. If you're just getting in with us, if you haven't been watching the banner that we've had up the billboard for the last hour, we've been delayed by a flash rainstorm that came up out of nowhere, saturated the field. Brandon Horn lifts this one up high on the infield. Cole Evans will settle under that for the second out. This is our 5 o'clock game. We're getting underway at about 6:36 p.m. Blair Setford and Matt Palazzo. There you see the Gremlins defense we talked about. Jack Bexgrove is the center of attention right now. And he's got the first 2 outs of the inning. Can he have a clean first?
Good pitch there. These next 2 guys, they can hurt you. They, a lot of this offense goes around these guys. And I know from experience they've hurt us pretty bad this year.
This one fouled off, little excuse me, check swing. Tyler Pauli, 5 for 10, a home run, 3 RBIs coming into this one for the Express, 3-0. And most recently, Matt, a little bit painful memory for you, a 3-2 win. Come from behind. You guys were out in front of that one.
Yeah, it was a tough one. When we look back at it, there's a couple plays that we thought, maybe we should have had. But at the end of the day, you got to turn the page and get to the next one. But these guys are tough, and like I told the guys, you give these top few teams extra outs, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and that's always the case. Through the top half, nothing across for the Bear Creek Express. Gremlins coming to the plate in the bottom half. Stay with us.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
My name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold. name is Pablo Miglievaca from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Vielbazo, pitcher de la selección de México y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Folka. I play for the Who United Chiefs from Australia, and I've been using Gorilla Gold my whole life.
My name's Jack Vesco from Australia, and I can't pitch without Gorilla Gold.
Gorilla Gold, the feel for the game.
Back for the bottom of the first inning, Blair Setford, Matt Palazzo with you on the ISC network this evening. Joe Todd has made the journey up to Memorial Park in Denmark as the ISC 2 championship game, which was scheduled for this diamond at 2 p.m., was completely washed out by a flash storm that rolled through and saturated this diamond. We've been letting it dry for about the last 3.5 hours, but we're in great shape now. We're good to go. Here's the Gremlins starting lineup. Matthew Waugh will lead off, as he has done for about the last decade and change. Jerome Remeke in the 2 spot. Ben Anoka hits 3rd. Eric Ochoa, Cole Evans, Brian Avery in right field tonight. Blake Hunter is the DP. Ladislaw Malarzouk at 2nd in the 8th spot. Nick Mullins at home batting 9th for the New York Gremlins. Defensively for the Bear Creek Express, you see it there. Quentin Bruce, Jordan Pomeroy, Colin Walsh, left to right across your outfield. And around the horn, Brandon Horn, David Galino, Tyler Paulai, Jeff Lyons. It's Sean Cleary and Ryan Boland. And Matt Palazzo, you've seen a lot of Sean Cleary this year and over the years. We know how deliberate Sean can be. This pitcher's mound is going to be a challenge for Sean tonight, too. The pitching area, they did a lot of work out there over the last couple hours.
They did, and you know, it's just you got to get settled in. I think these first couple innings are going to be huge.
The knock on Sean Cleary, if there is one, is that he can struggle in the first. When you guys play Sean, how important is it to get him early in the game?
We stress that. You know, you got to come out quick. You know, you got to see good pitches. You know, it seems like maybe if he's going to work behind, it's going to be that first inning or two, and then, you know, after that, you know, buckle in.
Matthew Waugh, well hit, left field. They're going to play that off the fence. They're going to watch that go over the fence. Matthew Waugh with a leadoff home run, and how important is that? How big a confidence booster is that? You see the big clap of hands from Matty Waugh.
Yeah, it's big. This is a big-time moment. Matty's a big-time player, and he just, you know, got the pitch he was looking for and was able to lift it out. Pretty good pitch, actually. That ball was a little bit in.
Yeah, brought the hands through,
Yeah,
kept the
stayed
hands
inside.
in, and able to hit that opposite field and out of the park. And you go from the frying pan into the fire with Jerome Remeke, who has just been murdering pitchers all year long.
You know, we were talking about it earlier. It's, you know, you get the World Tournament, you start talking, and you get 3 or 4, maybe 5 guys that are swinging it well. I feel like you've got everybody in this lineup swinging it well right now. It's like everybody's hot.
Nobody's missing.
There's a lot of barrels.
We actually talked last night that Cole Evans, if anybody needed to get the bat going, he's always been contributing defensively, and I think the very next pitch he smashed it off the fence. So it's usually the broadcaster's curse, but we were queuing up Cole Evans last night.
It's just a matter of time for some of these guys, right? You see enough, and the good news for a team like the Gremlins, you've got so many guys that carry you. So if you're not seeing it that well, you might have your moment later in the tournament when it's really on the line. So
Jerome Remeke, 4 for 8, 3 home runs.
a decent start for the
Not a
big guy.
bad start, yeah. Chase is downstairs.
That's a good pitch right there. Sean needs to get out of this inning cheap, right? 1 run, no big deal. You're going to score. You got to score to win. Get a couple ground balls and get your team back in the dugout.
Remeke uncharacteristically chases upstairs, got tied up with that rise ball inside. A real good pitch from Sean Cleary. He sets down Jerome Remeke, something barely anybody else has been able to do this year, never mind this week. And we'll go to Ben Anoka. Matt, you and I were talking pre-game. This guy has been a nemesis for Sean Cleary.
He has. He's seen Sean extremely well over the years, which is rare for any hitter to see Sean like that. But Ben's coming off a pretty big ASA, and this will be an interesting battle here.
In for a strike. I go all the way back to 2015, even when the two of them were teammates at the World Series that year in Saskatoon. Ben Anoka gave Sean fits, and when I talk with Sean and Ryan offline, it's Ben Anoka is one of those guys that they just can't figure out.
Yeah, and I think, fortunately for Sean, there's many teams that say the same thing.
Well, that's a good pitch there, down and in.
A little uncharacter-like these guys to swing out of the zone like that these last two strikes.
Yeah, they've chased a little bit.
They have.
Do not see that a lot, but you will see that with a guy the stature of Sean Cleary.
Yeah, that ball's, it's got a little different movement on it, that's for sure. Those spins are tight. Oh, it's a good pitch right there.
One ball, two strikes to Ben Anoka. They were doing a little bit of trivia contest during the delay. One of the questions was, who was the MVP the last time we were here? The answer, of course, Ben Anoka. Could have been Matt Palazzo that year, quite honestly.
Seen it pretty good, that's for sure. But so were a lot of guys on the team, so that always helps. I feel like Benny's in the running for that just about every year.
He's got two of them in his collection. Got one very early 2009 with the Jarvis Travelers. 2019. Don't know if he'll be around in 2029. Might be.
Little one on the way. You never know. It sometimes changes things a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Chases downstairs. Strike three. So Sean Cleary roars back with a couple of strikeouts after the leadoff home run by Matthew Waugh.
Yeah, he settled in pretty nicely here. He's getting these guys to get outside the zone a little bit, which is going to be crucial for him.
Eric Ochoa to the dish. Little fist bump with everybody.
So we talked, and I remember last time I was in here, we talked about the yellow. So I asked Chewy, I said, what's going on?
Yellow gloves.
I said, are you colorblind, or is it we were wondering? He said, Chewy, I just like.
Well, you know who's also got those is Nick Shales.
Okay.
Exact same set. So I'm assuming that they may be Lumberjack Sports.
Oh, might be.
And Joe and I were noting that gold, or that bright yellow, is almost on brand with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
At least they've got gold in the uni, but there you see them and how bright they are. Luciano gives us a great view.
The old construction gloves.
But that's exactly what they look like. It's like he's going to a crime scene or something.
Took a little off that one there.
Yeah, that's the world-class changeup from Sean Cleary. They'll throw that at any time, and occasionally they'll double it up too. And you've got to be aware of that as a batter.
You do, and Bolin does a nice job. He's I'm a big guy of trying to read catchers quite a bit, and Bolin's always been a tough one. The sequence, he mixes it up quite well, and you never see the same sequence, which is huge.
Just misses outside, and that's the thing. I mean, a couple of guys like this who have worked together so long, it's like they're a married couple, right?
Yeah,
they know exactly what each other is thinking.
Yep.
It's very rare, actually, that you'll see Sean shake off a pitch.
Yeah, and if he is, it could be an intentional shake. I know Molly and Cheesy are like that a lot, right, with shakes.
Just for show.
Yep.
Way out in front. There's the change up again. 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, it's got him thinking a little bit right now. Here comes the classic Cleary lifter that's just high enough where you can't lay off it, but looks good enough where you got to swing.
So you're thinking rise ball. Well, he got a little bit too much of the plate off the knee of Pauli, scooped and safe at first base. That's a tough one for Tyler Pauli. It was almost too slow for him. See it here on the replay. Just gets the knee in and tried to backhand it, and good hustle by Eric Ochoa. A lot of guys will look at that and think, I'm out, and will jog down to first with the bat in the hand.
Yep, agree. Good hustle by Chewy to get down the line there and beat that one out.
Cole Evans moving up in the order into the 5 spot for the Gremlins tonight.
We talked about this, in our game with Bear Creek. You give these guys and these big teams extra outs. That's when you look back at the game and go, damn, if we make that play or if we did this a little bit different, the score's a little different. So we'll see what happens here, and Sean's going to try to make his best pitches.
Foul back to the screen. So he's got Evans in a hole 0-2. If you're just getting in with this on the ISC network, Blair Setford, Matt Palazzo, Matthew Waugh, a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first inning after Jack Besgrove sat down the side in the top. Eric Ochoa aboard on a 2-out error. And Sean Cleary.
That's a good take. That ball didn't miss by much.
But mixing in the off-speed a fair bit already, and we watched Devin McCullough pitch the other night, and not a single changeup thrown. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know your thought on that.
There was a game plan there, and we'd kind of been beat a couple times on it before, and thought there might be something there. So I think Devin was reaching back, and as you guys know, he had a little extra in him that night, and it's different when we're facing somebody and he's throwing it, early on in the year, kind of working on things, and all of a sudden he comes here and he's got an extra 10 mile an hour. It's a little different ball game.
To 1-2 to Cole Evans. As we talked, had been somebody looking to get launched along with most of the other Gremlins, and certainly did that last night against the Toronto Batmen. A big game, and that game was close for 4 innings as the lefty for Toronto, Dustin Wienhoff, gave up 1 in the second, but that was a 1-0 ball game into the 4th.
Yeah, I think that definitely shocked some people to, he held these guys down, and not a lot of teams have been able to do that, or a lot of pitchers have been able to do that this year.
Little soft liner right into the glove of Sean Cleary, who does field his position very well. Matthew Waugh gets the Gremlins out front through 1 complete. New York out in front, 1-0. Stay with us on the ISC Network. We'll be back with the top of the second, coming right up. What did these do? I totally forgot.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Quentin Bruce to lead things off, 4-5-6 for the Bear Creek Express. Bruce, Colin Walsh, Ryan Boland, and Matt Palazzo. Talk about a year that this kid had at the plate. All-World at the ISC, All-American at the USA National, All-Canadian at the Canadian Nationals, and then All-World at the WBSC World Cup. Not a bad season.
No, he really came into his own, and when you watch him swing it, we've, of course, paid attention to film. His hands are really strong. He's there.
Malheur-Zook can't come up with that hard-hit ball off the bat of Quentin Bruce. Had to range over a couple steps to his left and looked like he got the ball in the webbing of the glove and just couldn't get it out.
Yep, looked a little off speed. Was able to hold his hands back and got the barrel through. He's a very tough out. Now he's, a challenge on the bases too.
You've got the game changer there. Maybe you can tell us whether they went hit and error. Joe Todd gives that an error every day. He's the world's harshest scorer. Swing and a miss by Colin Walsh, who was one of the few Canadian guys in the gold medal game who actually had a little bit of success against Bestgrove. He and Ryan Boland accounted for both of the Canadian runs in that 5-2 win for the Aussie Steelers.
They gave him a hit.
Joe wouldn't approve. Walsh squares to bunt, and that is going to roll foul. Interesting playing the small ball early in the game, down by a run, Bear Creek. Get the leadoff batter aboard and looking to maybe advance if they can with a small ball here.
Yeah, when you got a guy like this throwing, it's, he strikes out so many guys. It's, do you want to put your middle of your lineup in a hole? There's multiple ways to look at it. I'm thinking it's hard to get a couple hits in a row with these guys. So, your chances of running into one might be the game changer.
Colin Walsh down on strike. So Ryan Boland to the plate.
He's always dangerous. He's just one of these guys that seems to come up. I've said it a million times in big situations, and you just have a feeling he's going to square one up anytime.
And for a left-handed batter, he actually hits lefties fairly well, too. As he hits the changeup here, a little nubber out to Malheur-Zook and advances Quentin Bruce up to second base. I was about to say he's had some success against Kirkpatrick in particular in the past, and a little bit against Bestgrove down in Australia, but just a 13 hopper out to Ladislau Malheur-Zook.
Yeah, it's and Moley calls another changeup there, which is interesting because Boland's been known to keep his hands back pretty well, and he's working that change a little bit more than I've seen early in the game.
Jason Hill, designated player to the plate. How much fun is it doing a podcast with Jason Hill and Steve Mullally?
Oh my God! After I talked to those guys for that podcast, I remember sitting there talking to a couple buddies. I had some friends at the house that were kind of waiting for me to get done. And I'm like, these are two guys that I'm pissed off I never played with them. I feel like we would get along extremely well.
I think there's a lot of guys in the game saying that as they go on the episodes and have those conversations with those guys.
Oh, they're fantastic guys. And just, and we've talked since and some FaceTimes, on random Sunday afternoons when guys might be into the tins a little bit, but it's they're fantastic.
Got to show you what Jason Hill showed up with for me today, and you got the hat. There we go, dust up on the hat.
I love it.
Little T-shirt paraphernalia. The dust up stuff is making the rounds. Luciano's got the red one.
Oh yeah, he's representing.
Change up.
Lolly will be here tomorrow.
Is he coming down?
He's coming down.
Oh, I didn't realize he was coming down. He and I chatted last week. And he said have a great time and said he'd be tuning in. I didn't know he was making the trip. Well, Lolly, good to see you tomorrow. Make sure you come by the booth.
I sent him a message with the hat on today.
Nice.
And he said I'll be there at 8 o'clock tomorrow, and I'm going to set the record for the amount of drinks in that Circle Tap in 2 days.
Well, there's a couple of guys that he'll be in contention with, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Schweier's out of the tournament, so there's one.
Yep.
And there's a couple others.
You'll have to hold Devin McCullough back, I think, too.
We want to keep him in it.
Jason Hill swings at that rise ball. Jack Besgrove picks up another 2 strikeouts. Quentin Bruce, base hit, but stranded at second. We'll go to the bottom half. New York Gremlins, 1-0 lead coming to the plate.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca to put your game over the top.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Brian Avery, Blake Hunter, Ladislaw Mallar-Zook, and then Nick Mullins if it gets that for the bottom of the order for the New York Gremlins. We're going to chat with Ricky Early, who is joining us here in the booth from the Auckland Blue Sox, the Ramblers softball club. But Ricky, you guys came up with a very young team. You played in the ISC 21 under tournament. You played some World Tournament games, some ISC 2 games. Tell us about this fantastic trip for these young men coming up from the Auckland area and making the journey and playing in these ISC events.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Blair and Matt. It's great to be here, and yeah, it's a trip of a lifetime for some young ballers from Auckland. It all came last year. My wife Megan and I came up just to watch the ISCs in Malloy last year, and we went to the ISC breakfast, the induction breakfast.
Yeah.
And might have been yourself up on stage that might have mentioned about the inaugural 21 and under tournament, ISC tournament, which is happening next year at Circle Tap, and my wife looked at me and I knew...
Just planted the seed, You're coming.
So she got talking with Tim Lyons and a few people from the ISC Commission and things like that. And Larry Lynch was a big help with us here, introducing us to people. And things just got in motion, and then we'll said, you can come along to the 21 and under and we'll give you a wild card into the main draw, which was just fantastic. So we went home and put out a bit of a request of interest to some players, and they all jumped at it and started saving up some money from about November last year and put together, the funds to come up here, and they're absolutely loving it. Like of the 15 players, at least 8 or 9 of them have said it's been the greatest week of their life. So it's
fantastic. That's just so great to hear. I saw Var Matiosian stick out his hand there, Matt, but characteristically made an error and it ricocheted off
and
the
it
fence.
Wasn't even close. I was watching it thinking it might be the first ball he's filled cleanly in the ISC history.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't get it.
No, okay. Ricky, I watched you guys play the third place game in the U21 tournament on Friday night, and just I was so impressed with the level of play with your players. You guys did a great job, and then you've been playing against some top teams here this week. You've had some real competitive games. You just mentioned, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Some of these guys are just saying the absolute best experience. What's it been like from that player experience and seeing the kind of ball that you're seeing? What's the learning been?
Yeah, well, the word you hit the nail on the head there, Blair. Learning was the biggest part of this tour, and once we were eventually knocked out of the main or the IC2 yesterday, we grabbed a quick drink and sat out in centre field straight away, and I just sat down. We reflected on, we played 12 games plus a couple of warm-up games in 9 or 10 days, and just I went through what my thoughts were on the tour thus far, and learnings we've had. And for me, I love to win, and I had to wind it back a couple of times because I think we left some results out there. Early on, we were a little bit underdone. We lost the opening night of the 21s to the US 18 and under team in the last innings. They walked it off. And I think we could have won that. And then getting into the main draw, we won our first game of the ISC, which was just tremendous.
That's a big feat.
You guys, when I went through and asked the boys the highlights, that was majority, and that was their highlight, winning the first game of the ISC. But then the biggest learning is just the grind. It's just the daily grind of the way you play up here. Being ready to play at any time, quarter an hour, 15 minutes before scheduled time, or our first game of the ISC went 11 innings before us.
Right.
So we're sitting around for another hour, and it's late, and the time difference, and the food, and the travel, everything. It's just understanding the whole grind of this ball here. And then the biggest one, I've said to them, we're here for the last 3 days of the tournament once we're knocked out, and I said, have a drink and enjoy the atmosphere of the ballpark, but sit down close and watch the game. So they're all sitting just down here on the third base side, on the Gremlins side, because there's a lot of Kiwis in that Gremlins team, but just see the best in the world and how they play. It's just a different way we play at home. They don't play as much small ball here and run a lot of bases. It's power pitching, power hitting, but they're very professional in the way they approach the game. So I think I said to them, there's two ways of learning. There's playing and there's watching, and you can get just as much out of either of those ways.
Great learning experience for these guys, right? Yeah, 100%. So they come over here at a young age. They get to see this environment. And like you said, it's a grind, and there's fantastic players on the field, a lot of power pitching, a lot of power hitting, but just to watch the different teams and the way they play the game and how they handle themselves, on the field and then off the field, it's important for those guys. There's going to be a handful of those guys that are going to be back over here and be staples in the game, I'm sure, as they get a little older.
We've already said, I'd like to come back here for a summer. Wisconsin's been fantastic. I couldn't have thought of a better place to bring them. The ballparks around every corner, and we had a practice at Sunset Park over in Kimberley, and then down in Memorial and Mirabel and all that sort of stuff. And one of the guys said, "These are the five best ballparks I've seen in my life," and I said, "We've only been here."
Well, we get a couple of them to come up to Ontario as well sometime, and we'll show you some equally good ballparks for sure. Have you made some contacts, and I'm sure the players are making contacts for that opportunity to come back too?
Talking to a gentleman last night in the beer tent, and he says, if some boys want to come up, let me know. So Megan's given the contact details for them, and surely they'd love to. And it's our guys. It's no coincidence when the Black Sox were leading the world and winning multiple World Championships, the majority of our players were playing here. The Ronas, the Nukus, the Donny Hale, Paddy Shannon, and our pitching was up here as well. And I think it's a lot of the reason why we've fallen off a little bit over the last few years, because just financially with the pandemic and stuff, guys just haven't been up here as much as they used to, and they're not facing the best guys. And you can't come out of a season facing guys that are thrown in the mid to late 70s to guys that are thrown in the early to mid 80s. It makes a big difference, and you can't adjust during the space of a World Cup.
How quickly did it take you guys to make the adjustment from the time zone, the food, like you said, and you said your first game maybe was a bit of a disappointment, but you got on it right after that?
Yeah, we come back the next day and we played well, and then I think it sort of hit us again after about day 4. A little delayed whiplash, and so we had to try and perk them up a little bit. And but it was just a matter of battling through, find some energy, and one of our catchphrases is, "Where would you rather be?" Before the game, hey, you're looking a little bit tired, but where would you rather be? Would you rather be at home working in the rain and the cold, or living your dream playing up here at a sport you love?
How often do you think you might be able to pull something like this together? Is this something now that you can do on a 2-year cycle, 3-year cycle?
I think probably 2 years. To be honest, it cost the boys about $8,000 each to get up here out of their own pockets. So it's not cheap. We have a little bit of time in LA on the way home and watch a couple of ball games and do the theme parks and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it might be a 2-year cycle. I suppose it just depends where it is and how it works. But we've had great feedback.
Tough chance there for Tyler. Pauli is very alertly. Blake Hunter hit the deck and made Pauli come to him, and able to leg out the back end of that double play attempt. Ladislav Maller-Zook. So aboard on the fielder's choice.
Yep, not much else he could do right there.
No, you don't want to run right into Paula. You can't go off the baseline, so just slid in on his backside. Nick Mullins to the plate. And who are some of the players that your guys look up to? Obviously, you've got Cole Evans out there, who's local with your Ramblers team. Jerome Remeke is a little bit further from PK in Wellington. But you mentioned the Kiwis. Who are the guys that they're looking up to?
Yeah, obviously Cole's the guy they look up to at home, and a couple of our guys work with them, and so it's your co-worker, but to see him out here on the world stage doing that. But they also really like to see the Americans play as well. Like Ochoa, the left-handed guys, like to see him hit. Very similar to the way Romy hits as well, and it's just a different. It's just plate coverage and stuff like that. And then the Bearsgrove and Cleary and they were blown away by. Is it Diaz last night from Lumberjacks? Just throwing absolute seeds last night.
87 miles an hour topped out on the gun. Yeah.
That opened their eyes a little bit to where they need to be. They were very fortunate the other day that we played Stompers in our second game after having the win, and Marta brought us down to earth a little bit, but he had a little bit of a workout for a couple of innings and just took 6 quick strikeouts and checked his back out. But if he had stayed in for 4 innings, I would have brought the boys off the bench just to have a swing and just experience one of the best going around. So
and that is something that everybody will be able to take home. We got to face Waymo Mata, we got to see Marco Diaz, we got to watch a game with Sean Cleary and Jack Besgrove, 3-4 of the best in the world there. Great stuff. We're chatting with Ricky Early of the Auckland Blue Sox. Almost got you with the Black Sox, but the Auckland Blue Sox, who were touring up in the Wisconsin area. So you mentioned you're stopping at a couple of ballparks on your way back. Who are you going to?
We're going to catch an Angels game, and there's a hit.
Nick Mullins through the 5.5 hole, and this throw is a little errant coming in. So a couple runners aboard at the 8 and 9 spot, and Matthew Waugh already with a home run. And again, Matt, a little bit of trouble here for Sean Cleary early. We talked just coming into the inning that if Sean could get through this one, this could end up being a real tight game. That one run may end up being the difference, but a little bit of trouble here. Now you got to face Matty Waugh again.
Yep, here he is again. Big situation. Good to see that Mully was able to remember where first base was. I thought he might run to third. He hasn't been over there in a while.
A bit of a burn.
I love you, Mully.
When Mully is watching this one on replay, remember that was your good friend Matt Palazzo there, Nick. So, Ricky, you're going to go see an Angels game in Anaheim?
We'll catch an Angels game, and then we're fortunate enough, Don Tricker, who used to be the Black Sox coach, he's hooked the boys up to get us a Padres game, so we'll get the train down to San Diego one day and watch a game down there. He's going to host us down there, so I really appreciate that from Don. We're always looking after New Zealanders when they're over, so he's a great man.
Fantastic, and 2 great ballparks that you're going to get to see too, in Angel Stadium, and then Petco Park in San Diego in particular, I'm told, is fabulous.
Yeah, I think the boys are a bit excited when they think Sunset Park and Circle Tap are really great stadiums, and they get along to see those. I'll be pretty happy.
Well, those are some softball legendary parks. Sunset Park in particular. You've played at Sunset and Kimberley.
Yep,
that
great parks.
Called a couple of games there, and it's a great facility.
The fans show up over there as well.
Yes, that they do. Yeah, that they do. Ricky, best part of the trip for you guys?
I think here, Circle Tap, the ballpark, the atmosphere, everyone just comes up and they're so welcoming and happy that we're here. And some people, man, you've flown 15 hours to Chicago to get here, and they can't believe we've made the effort. But it's our pleasure. It's not the pleasure of the people here. We're more welcoming of the experience as much as the people are off here. It's been fantastic, and the boys have been really, really good. Behaviour's been immaculate. Touch wood thus far.
Mom and Dad,
they've been superb. Yeah, I hope they've called home to say hi. But just now it's just seeing them actually looking across. I'm just sitting on the first base side tonight and just looking across, and they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed watching these heroes play.
Matthew Waugh rounds out to end the inning. We've been chatting with Ricky Early. Ricky, congratulations on a great trip. Third place finish in the 21 and under tournament and a good showing about the World Tournament in the ISC too. Safe travels to you and the team as you head out, and enjoy the ballparks too. You're getting to see a couple of beauties, and then you're going to be right into your season by the time you get back home, I would assume.
I think we have a week off. And we're getting to some like a pre-season showcase sort of a thing. So the boys will be coming in hot and that with all the new gear, new cleats and batting gloves and arm guards and elbow pads, and I've got all the gears. Don't worry. Dick's Sporting Goods. First day we were here, we went for a bit of a walk. Went for a bit of a walk at 8:30 to get a bit of orientation, and Dick's doesn't open till 9. They've got their faces pressed up against the glass, looking inside. It was quite funny.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, safe travels. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you in a couple of years' time in the not so distant future here again at the ISC.
So much for having me. Thanks, Blair. Thanks, Matty. Good to see you.
See you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
So fresh off our conversation with Ricky Early, and Matt, you were just saying that you talked to a couple of the kids inside. How excited did they seem about this whole thing?
They were pumped up, you know. I was just asking them, say, hey, what's your experience been so far, you know? And they said, man, we're just soaking everything in. This has been great, being in America, doing this thing. You know, this park's amazing, the atmosphere. You know, they get to watch, you know, the best in the world do their trade. And you could just tell they were kind of just all ears, you know, learning from some of the vets in the, you know, probably inside the bar, which is good. And yeah, they're having a blast, which is great to see.
Oh, good stuff. Jeff Lyons at the plate for Bear Creek Express. I know you played in New Zealand for World Cups. Did you ever go down there and play in their season?
Nope, I almost did pretty early when I started going, but I just couldn't make it work family-wise. Just couldn't get away for that long. But I remember with talking to Nuku and a couple guys, and it was close, and it would have been great, but just couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, that's tough. You've got to be you got to be the right time in your life, and if you're a family man early, that makes it tough.
Yep. Absolutely.
Jeff Lyons, David Galino, and then back to Jordan Pomeroy at the top of the shop, and a nice walk for Jeff Lyons, who draws into the lineup at the expense of Kyle Ezekold. Kyle had a bit of a tough start the other night, and Jeff Lyons in at first base, and good eye at the plate.
Yeah, good take right there. It's 3-1. He's obviously looking for one pitch, and wasn't in a spot, so good for him. Maybe these guys can get something going here.
David Galino, addition to the Bear Creek team in the off-season, shortstop for the Mexican national team, and he's really fit right in with this Bear Creek squad as he's come over really only in July and August to come play with the Express. Spent most of the season with his Mexican club team. But by all accounts, a real nice young man. I don't know if you know David at all, but see him at breakfast a little bit.
Yeah, really good kid.
Snap throw down to first, just diving back.
They cut him leading a little bit there.
I think that's Robbie Black, too, pinch running for Jeff Lyons. It is 22. Galino squares to bunt early, pulls back. Eric Ochoa, who would know David Galino fairly well from their days in the Mexican leagues together, he came crashing early on the first pitch, too.
He did. Molly went have a little chat with Bezzy, let him, calm him down just a little bit.
Rise ball hops up over the bat.
That's one thing I don't know enough about. Does he know if he fields this ground ball straight to him? Is he, what's his arm like overhand to get the ball to second base, try to get that lead runner?
Haven't seen him throw to second. We saw a couple that were low in the dirt, and one was bounced right through the wickets in a game last night.
Yeah. Yeah, you see Mata on the bunt yesterday.
Yes.
You saw, like guys like Scope just, traditionally don't throw it that well overhand.
No,
and
that's
that.
right. Yeah. David Galino gets into one.
That's gone.
Way back and gone from the 9 batter. A 2-strike home run, and David Galino circles the bases. And this crowd in a bit of shock here is just about the last thing you were expecting in that at-bat, Matt Palazzo, was a big home run.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially, he was battling the count a little bit, and, obviously Bezzy wants that one back, left it up a little bit.
Yeah, that was middle. We'll see it here on the replay. Yeah, middle, rise ball.
Yep, a little too much plate on that one.
Clears the bleachers. Tyler Pauli lifts this one out to the left, and that'll get out of play. So some adversity for the Gremlins, trailing for the first time in the tournament.
Probably for the first time in about 35 games.
I think they were down to Hill United in ASA early.
They get down early?
Yeah. And even in the final, I know it's all the way back in late June in Simcoe, but they trailed in that game against the Chiefs in Simcoe too. Jordan Pomeroy down on strikes for the second time tonight for the first out. And a leadoff walk comes around to score. Joe Todd will tell you that nearly 70% of leadoff walks come around to score.
Yep, comes to Lions. That 3-1 pitch he left up, that was it's a pretty close pitch. Good eye and got the team going.
Brandon Horn to the dish, pop up in his first appearance.
Ooh.
Called a strike. That was unpopular with the Bear Creek bench and some of the umpires in the crowd.
There's a lot of umpires over there.
There are a lot of umpires in the crowd last night, too.
Yes, there was. It was a little bit of a challenge, that's for sure.
And called a strike. Speaking of the umpires, it's Mark Corus behind the plate. Mark is from Arizona. Randy McLamb from North Carolina. Trevor Topping from Ontario out at third base.
Haven't seen Randy out there too much this
will be one of the very few Randy games that Randy does. Randy McLamb, of course, the ISC umpire-in-chief, and he and I have had the opportunity to chat a fair bit here this week over breakfast and at other opportunities. And ground ball, Ladislav Malarczuk, so smooth out at second base.
So smooth, and playing with Lottie, he's probably just laughing. He's just doing his thing. His heart rate and blood pressure and everything else is flatlined.
Him and Sean Cleary can have a staring contest.
Right, it'd last a long time, I'm sure.
Tyler Pauli to the dish, down on strikes in his first appearance. But yeah, Randy is only going to do a couple of games here this week, and he's easing himself into full UIC retirement status. So
yeah, good for him. He's earned it. That's back-to-back hitters that only started him with the changeup.
That one misses upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike, and a little bit different cadence this inning too. It's you talked about starting off with the changeup, but falling behind a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
3-1 now.
Yep, the kid. This hasn't probably went through a ton of adversity. This is a test for him, and obviously with that lineup, they're one swing away from tying this thing up, but.
Pauli thought he had worked his way aboard with a walk, but we'll go to a 3-2 count as called strike on the outside of the zone. And I think back to the World Cup, and his first game against Canada, he got raked.
Yeah, he did.
Derek Mason touched him up for a couple of home runs, and Canada won that game 6-0 over Australia. Marshall Cronk would actually come on in relief in that one for Bestgrove. But I mean, he just the performance he put on in that gold medal game was uncanny.
Yeah, he showed he had another gear, right? Especially on a team that's got to him a little bit. And I think after that, it was, guys around the park are going, this kid's real.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a real eye-opener, the fact that he could come back and rebound against a team that hits as well as that Canadian lineup can.
Yep, they're extremely dangerous.
So Quentin Bruce to the plate. Quentin an infield single his last trip. And falling behind again, 1-0, and just not quite as crisp this inning around the strike zone.
Yep, Molly's he's having a conversation behind the dish there. He probably wants that pitch.
Just a little in tighter. Mullins and Quentin Bruce are having a laugh about it at least. Quentin's a great kid.
I think
great
Molly
kid
just
too.
told him that was the exact same pitch.
Quentin Bruce is a real good kid. And there's a strike. So 1-2 as Bestgrove comes back and fills up the strike zone.
Bez needs to throw a good pitch here and get his team back in the hut. I think that's important right here. Yep.
Bruce chases upstairs. Good rise ball from Jack Bestgrove. He gives up a 2-run home run, though, to the 9-batter. David Galino puts the Bear Creek Express out in front. We'll go to the home half of the third. The Gremlins, for the first time this World Tournament, trailing 2-1.
The New York Gremlins congratulate our own Dr. Bob Neidick on his induction to the ISC Hall of Fame as this year's recipient of the Bob Welby Memorial Recognition of Service Award. Dr. Bob is a 4-time ISC World Champ, winning his first 2 titles with the Kitchener River Shark Twins in 2008 and 2009. His second 2 came with us in 2018 and 2019. And he says, we're not done. Bob started in the game when he was 17 in Pennsylvania and played in a national championship in 1996. His first ISC World Tournament was 2004 in Fargo, North Dakota. Since 2012, he's been a Gremlins co-sponsor, and we couldn't be prouder of him to be recognized for all of his contributions to the game.
Congratulations, Dr. Bob.
Jerome Remeke, Ben Anoka, Eric Ochoa, 2-3-4 for the New York Gremlins. These guys all at the top of the home run ranks for the Gremlins over the course of the season, joined by Blake Hunter in that regard. First pitch swinging, Jerome Remeke. It's a tie ball game. Way back and gone into the trees.
Yep. Just like that.
There are some special guys in this game whose at-bats you do not want to miss. One of them was elected to the Hall of Fame this week in Donnie Hale. This one was right down the middle, though.
Yep.
That's what you should do to pitches right down the middle.
Yeah, that's belled high down the middle, and Sean probably knew it as soon as he threw it.
Yeah, but you do not want to miss. Just like Donnie Hale, you didn't want to miss his at-bats. You don't want to miss Jerome Remeke's at-bats.
Nope, that quickly ties it up at 2, and, there's a happy young guy over in that Gremlins dugout, too, that's a little left-hander.
Cleary roars back for a strike to open up against Ben Anoka. So Remeke will be now 5 for 10 with 4 home runs. I don't know what happened on the other base hit. Clearly he wasn't trying very much.
5 for 10 with 4 bombs. That a boy, Romy. Good start, bud.
I'll date myself here. I can remember in 2013, Jerome Remeke as a 17-year-old sleeping on the cot or the mattress in the kitchen of the dorm room over at the Conestoga Inn in Kitchener, rooming with Ben Anoka and Nick Hayes. The three of them came out and played once a week with my league team in Mississauga. And so that's how I got to know these guys. And to this day, whenever we see each other, it's hugs and how you doing and everything else. You know, it's those are the things you remember. Going back to that 2013 season, 6 times All-World Jerome Remeke. Looks like he's making a pretty solid bid for his 7th.
Yep, absolutely. Playing with Romy, he was always so intense, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just look at his eyes before a game, and it's just like, man, this guy would run through a brick wall right now, I think, you know.
And he was over here at such a young age, too, but he got to play with guys like Ben Anoka and some others, with Brad Rona a little bit on the Jarvis team, along with guys like Nick Shales and some others, and see what it takes to come over and be here for 3-4 months at a time, and what you have to do. Because it can't all just be fun and games.
No.
There's the training and the workouts and everything that goes with it.
Yep. A lot of people, you know, just looking on the outside probably think these guys are just having the time of their life. You know, nightlife, this, that. There's a hell of a lot more to it than that.
Yeah,
These
there
guys
is
are
some of that, without a doubt,
sure.
right? You live in a city like Toronto, and you're enjoying yourself without a doubt. But you are also putting in the time and the work, and I know for a fact that every day these guys are out training.
For sure. They're getting their work in, and you know, they're doing it like professionals, and they are. There's plenty of time for, you know, everything else too.
Chopper on the infield, coming across bare hand. Brandon Horn, and just sticking with the base. That's a stellar play all the way around. Let's watch the replay here. Brandon Horn's got only one play to barehand it.
Just stuck it right in the ground.
And then just to keep enough of the foot on the base before it came off.
Good play over there, bud.
And all the while knowing that it's Ben Anoka running down the line, too. I mean, it's not that's not Var Matiosian ambling down to first.
He'd just about be there.
They asked down at third, but no, says Trevor Topping.
Nope, didn't think he went from our view there.
No, did not look like it.
Knowing Chewy, he's looking, you know, early in the count, he's looking for one pitch and one pitch only. It's not that one.
No, it's not that one. It was up in his wheelhouse, but that was the off speed.
Yep. Little middle end change that, you know, if he's sitting on that pitch, it's, you know, probably a different score, but that wasn't the one he was looking for there.
Clary, deep breath. And a little off speed again. Not the full change, but maybe the 3/4 change on the outside corner. And we've seen more of this from Sean as time progresses. The change up with a bit more pace, but certainly.
Yeah. That's not something, you know, as a hitter when we face Sean, that's in the back of our head ever. That pitch right there. So a little something new for him.
Try to get him to chase up and away, but Eric Ochoa is not having any of that. In some of the weekend tournaments, Sean will work in a knuckle change too, just for giggles. And where we are situated at that Chiefs Challenge tournament in Simcoe, we're literally right behind the dish.
Yeah.
And Sean threw a knuckle change to somebody, and I had to look twice at it to watch it coming in. It's like a knuckle, but there, you're thinking maybe change of pace now because it's in the back of your mind, and he blows that one right by Ochoa.
Well, speaking of knuckle, last year at the ASAs, I'm 3-0 against Sean, 0-0 game, late, and he throws a knuckle 3-0, and I look at Bolin, and I said, what the hell was that? And he kind of laughs. Well, then 3-1 knuckle, and then a changeup, and then another knuckleball, and I'm like, this guy's just screwing with me.
I
like
think
freezes
so.
you.
I think so. Yeah. And these are the things that guys will work on, of course, in the weekend tournaments, and then pull it out of their bag of tricks in a USA National.
Yeah, last thing into mind is hitting a knuckleball on a full count against Cleary.
Cole Evans to the dish. And, I mean, you've had an up-close view of Cole Evans bursting onto the scene back in 2015 as a 16-year-old. You've seen him mature into becoming one of the best 2-3 shortstops in the game. And how impressive is it for a guy that comes on that early to be able to reach that full potential?
It's when you really look at what he's done.
This one is lifted way up in the air, deep and gone.
As we were just saying, he's matured at a young age. Captain on the Black Sox. Around all these veteran guys. It's a big time situation for him, and just came up huge.
Went down and got that one. Look how that ball's below the knees when he gets it, and an absolute no-doubter. Big uppercut swing.
Yep.
And the altitude on that one, they might have been serving some drinks on that as it reached its zenith.
Yep, that's a swing where he's looking for a dipper at that point, right? And he got it, and he was able to lift it. That's a damn good piece of hitting.
So a pair of solo shots this inning put the Gremlins back out in front, 3-2. Cole Evans and Jerome Remeke. The two Kiwi boys sandwiched around a couple of outs. And Brian Avery now to the dish. You talked the other night, and I really picked up on it because we talk a lot about it too, the versatility of Brian Avery, who can play corner outfield, corner infield, can catch, and just an all-around great athlete because he plays all of those positions at an elite level.
Yep, he's got to be a dream for a coach, right? A lot of things happen during the week-long ISCs, and whether there's an injury for a guy or this or that, he's a guy that fills in no matter where you need him, and obviously he's going to be in the heart of your lineup for any team.
Chases this one and launches it up on the infield. Brendan Horn calls for it, and the wind is not as bad as it was earlier in the day or last night, Matt, but that was an adventure.
Yes. Yeah, that was interesting last night. There was, our first run was an infield pop-up that they just couldn't handle, and, we had a couple ourselves, so we understand exactly how tough that wind really was.
So Brandon Horn makes the grab, but the Gremlins answer back with a pair of their own in the bottom of the third. They're back out in front. 3-2. We'll go to the fourth. I don't think it's going to end this way.
I don't think so either. Buckle in.
Colin Walsh to the plate, and Matt, kind of a seesaw affair already. You just get the sense, and Colin Walsh lifts this one out to left, going back to the fence. That's off the top of the fence. It's going to rattle around. Matthew Waugh will get it back into third base, and first pitch swinging Colin Walsh just kind of threw the bat out at it. This wasn't a prototypical power swing from Colin.
No, he reached out and still had enough hands left in him. I mean, that's, off-speed pitch, had enough on it. Good swing by Walsh to stay back a little bit and get on second base with no outs and, hopes to tie this thing up.
So back and forth we go. Ryan Boland an RBI opportunity and fouls this one off to the screen. And we talked about it back in the first inning. It was these two guys that accounted for both the Canada runs in that World Cup gold medal game.
Yep. Bully, he's looking for a pitch right here, and if maybe he's susceptible a little bit to something up, but we've tried that with him, and he's changed the score many times. They got crossed up there.
I watched the warm-up with these two guys, and it was a pretty intense warm-up, and then Mullins threw an absolute seed right on the money down to second base for the throwdown, too. So there was some intensity coming back out in this inning.
Yep. It's a good pitch right there.
Yeah, that drop ball, and that just breaks away from the lefties, too, the way that he throws it. And, I mean, the pitches, they all move up and down, but the lateral movement on Besgrove's pitches, too, is what astounds me, is it's breaking sometimes a good 18 inches across the plate. Swing and a miss there is an even better pitch. It's almost like a major league slider.
Yeah, those two pitches right there, those are just, tip your cap. Most of us are looking for the ball middle in, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we'd love to see the ball, and kind of leaning on some, on the outer half right there. That's just, he placed him perfect.
Jason Hill, designated player, to step in. Swing and a miss. And I wonder if Jack Besgrove will turn it up just a little bit more for the whole buckle up, Jack comment on Dust Up. And Jason Hill may regret that one.
We were all laughing at that. I thought it was great.
I thought so too. And I mean, it's true, right? I mean, here's a guy coming in who had a fabulous 6 months, wins 2 World Cups, and this one is just yanked foul. But like everybody else, and we saw it with Ramon Jones, who dominated at a WBSC and comes onto the circuit and has a great first year. But then guys get onto him.
Yeah, you figure them out, right? These pitchers are so good, but also these hitters are very good, and there's enough video here, right? People are going to pick up things over time, and the pitchers will adjust, but then again, the hitters will adjust too. And if you know that Jack really likes the ball up and he likes to make it move, right, and maybe the down ball isn't where he's going, right, to strike you out, then you make adjustments.
They ask on the appeal note, says Trevor Topping.
I'm interested because Moley's worked him in twice so far, and if everybody's played against Jason Hill, that's kind of where he's looking for
that
the ball.
Is power
that's
in,
where
right?
He hurt
because
you.
Jason's expanded his game. He can and does hit the ball to center left, but for years was a dead pull hitter.
Yep. He's going back in again. Missed a spot and looked like a strike maybe. Maybe a little down, because Moley was set up pretty far inside and he reached across the plate. I mean, it's probably a tough call for the blue there.
What do you think, dipper away here?
I think he's going back upstairs. But Moley's going to want the ball, let her high.
Oh, they rung him up on that pitch.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
A tough call.
It is tough. I think Jason saw that one right. That ball's a little down.
On the inside corner. And you see Mullins framing that one up.
Yeah, Moley did a nice job there, but
John Stewart out now for an not-so-friendly chat.
No, that's a tough one for Hilly there. I like Stewart, though, protecting his veteran guy. I do like that.
upstairs to Jeff Lyons, who walked and scored on the home run by David Golino. Home plate umpire Mark Corus is hearing it from the leather lungs in the crowd here.
Yes, he is. Yep, he didn't make a lot of friends on that last one over there on the first base side.
Lions can't pull the trigger. Just a school teacher down in southwestern Ontario. Near the end of the school year, I was at a Blue Jays game. I turn around the corner and run into Jeff and his entire class.
Small world?
It is, even in Toronto. Strike on the outside corner.
Yep,
and
good
it's
pitch there.
tough when a guy throws this hard with
Yep.
that much movement and then can paint the corner.
Yep, that's a tough one to hit right there. Oof. I think that one caught a little more plate than Bezzy wanted, but froze him.
Blake Hunter, Ladislav Malorczuk, Nick Mullins, 7-8-9 for the New York Gremlins. And Matt, you talk about guys who have been power hitters their whole career. Blake Hunter played with JB, played with the Grand Prairie Pirates, comes here to the New York Gremlins. He's only hit 3 singles all season. Everything else has been either off the fence or over it.
Yeah, he's pretty comfortable right now, and he's got a really strong supporting cast over there. When, you know, it helps most of the time when they know what's coming. You know, there's a lot of guys over there that are picking people now. I don't think they get much on Sean. Nobody really ever did. He's one of the few guys, but yeah, Blake's had a heck of a season, and, you know, congrats to him.
Justin Schofield. No, that's Riley Mannion, actually, who has emerged from the Bear Creek dugout to the bullpen, such as it is.
It's a good move. I mean, he's handed the Gremlins their only loss, right?
Opening night of the Chiefs Challenge on a Friday night in Simcoe, Ontario. Hunter can't catch up to that one. Riley Mannion, who was fresh off at that point the U23 World Cup, where he threw well for Canada. 5th place finish. Under the lights that night, the Gremlins' first game of the season, he and Justin Schofield were throwing missiles that night.
Yeah, I was fully expecting Sean to go, 5, and Scof come in here and throw 200 mile an hour for a couple innings and see what happens.
But that was the only loss of this season for the New York Gremlins. 3-1 that night. They would roar back to win the Chiefs Challenge. They knocked off the The Bear Creek Express in the semifinal beat the Chiefs in the final. And speaking of the Chiefs, we'll see them coming up next. Hill United and the Niagara Stompers at the conclusion of this one. Donnie Atkinson from the Grand Prairie Pirates and Twos Talk will be our special guest in the color commentary chair. So looking forward to that one as well. Matt Palazzo and Donnie Atkinson sitting in. Joe Todd is up handling the ISC 2 championship game, and we'll check in on that for you very shortly. But the Gremlins 32-1 since opening night loss.
Wow.
32 game win streak.
That's pretty impressive. And it's not like they're playing a week schedule at all. They don't take many weekends off.
You know, there are the games where they're playing a team ranked 15 to 25 in any given tournament, but they put together the Gremlins Invitational purpose-built tournament with 5 other teams in the top 10.
Yeah, that was a great tournament.
And there was no easy games in that tournament. You were in that tournament.
Yeah, yep. You flew in and got in your car, and you get to the hotel, and you go, okay, we've got, the best pitchers in the world here coming up, which is great. As a hitter, that's what you're looking for, getting ready for ASAs and ISCs. You want to see them all.
And just right on cue, speaking of the upcoming game, Niagara Stompers, Hill United Chiefs, it will be Michael Hollabraddock and Huemo Mata, to the surprise of absolutely no one.
See if Mata can throw another couple hundred pitches tonight.
I can't imagine trying to recover from that 200. I mean, he threw 150 in the championship game last year, but that was just a remarkable performance last night.
It seemed like he got stronger, after the 4th, 5th inning. He just kept coming out, and it looked like he had just a little extra, and, just finally said, all right, boys,
climb on.
I've got it.
Yeah, but yeah. I thought, to your point, I thought from the 6th on, he threw harder than he did through the first 5.
Agree. Yep, there's a little different sound on the mitt.
Well, and he turned up the volume on the grunt too. The oomph became a lot louder. Mullins has to dance out of the way of that one.
Molly coming off he had a line shot there in the 2nd. Cleary's got him a little bit of hole here, and interested to see what pitch he goes to here, up 1-2. That's a good
Great
pitch.
drop there from Sean Cleary. Retires the side in order. First clean inning for Cleary in the Express. 4 complete. It is 3-2 for the New York Gremlins. We'll go to top of the 5th. Believe it or not, this one's moving along.
It's going.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data. And they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business. Man of the hour for the Bear Creek Express, David Galino to the plate. I'm going to say surprise home run off of Jack Besgrove. David Galino in the 9 spot. Not there for his power, but got all of that offering and got the Express on the board. That was in the 3rd inning. Now the top of the 5th. And they need some help again here.
Yeah, down the hole 2-0. Bear Creek trying anything they can do, get this leadoff guy on, turn that lineup over, and you know, if this guy gets on, there's probably a pretty good percentage chance they're going to get him over.
Matt, what's the infield been like out there? I saw a lot of high hoppers this week. Is it as hard as we think it is?
It's hard, yeah. It's a true hop infield, right? But when they redid this, you know, before, what was it, 19? When they redid the surface, they did a nice job. There's good hops, but yeah, you've seen some of the choppers. It's almost kind of, you know, like playing on turf, if you will, a little bit. Little softer today, apparently.
Yeah,
with all the
absolutely.
rain.
With the rain, it would certainly soften things up. Is that something you think about as a batter, that, hey, I've got the opportunity here to go after the drop and pound one into the ground? And this one is laced out to right field. David Galino seeing the ball well tonight, 2 for 2, a home run and a single.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, there's probably certain hitters that, you know.
I know you're not looking for.
But it's helped me. I mean, I've got a couple choppers, you know, that made it through for sure. But I know there's certain guys on our team that absolutely they're looking for dippers early to try to drive one on the ground, like Tyler Johnson and some guys that, you know, can run.
Mm-hmm.
There he is.
Jordan Pomeroy at the plate with Galino out at first, and he's showing bunt. One and one to Pomeroy, who's got a couple of home runs in the tournament too, Matt. They beat the Bar Buzz the other day 7-0, picked up a couple of bombs there, 4 for 12, 4 RBIs. Your leadoff spot, you'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know he had a couple bombs. It's solid at the top of the order.
Called a strike, and honestly the highlight of the year, I don't know if you saw it down here on John Boy Media, but at a tournament back in June, made a catch at the center field fence at our tournament in Mitchell, Ontario, cartwheeled over the fence. That was seen over 2 million times.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
On John Boy Media. He got interviewed in the local paper about it down in St. John's. People said they were coming up to him in the grocery store that had seen it. And
that's pretty cool. That was an unbelievable catch. And to hang on to it, right?
Swing and a miss there. Can't catch up to the heat from Jack Besgrove. Got a special guest to bring in, Matt, your boss, Darren Derricks, the proprietor, head of the host committee, Hall of Famer, head of Circle Top. And Darren, it's been an interesting week here. Has been shuffling games around, and you and I chatted yesterday briefly. The feat that you guys pulled off to play 31 games on Tuesday to get this tournament back on schedule was just an unbelievable accomplishment. And to do that, you and Rich Hall. But hats off to you for making that happen.
Thanks very much. Rich had a lot to do with it. Rich is real good about that, and all kinds of, we had good help. So I make 31 games. I tell people all the time, that's what we, boys of summer, 31 games for a tournament. We did it on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, indeed.
The field's ready, and there's a lot of people helping out, though. There's tons of help, so.
We had Dean Kane up the other day. He said there's 400 volunteers that are a part of the tournament here this week. That's just a testament to the leadership that you and the group have put into this and bringing the ISC World Tournament back here. What does it mean to have an event like this here in your community?
It's huge for Denmark. Denmark's a small community. There's only a little over 2,000 people in it. So there's actually 400 people working the whole weekend, but it goes to all the proceeds go to DYBS. Denmark Youth Baseball, Softball, so there's all kinds of people helping out all over the place. And baseball, softball's big around here. And baseball itself is won state tournaments back 3 times in a row, so that's pretty impressive.
I heard that from Dean the other day that the local team here are a powerhouse.
Three-peat, it's pretty impressive.
That's something nice for a small community of 2,000 in a state like this.
Coach, yeah, he's a Hall of Fame coach for hardball, high school, yeah.
Excellent.
I heard Denmark's high school, they're the Vikings? How the hell did that ever happen?
Been there a long time, and it's not the Minnesota Vikings. You're still all Packers area.
I was going to say, there's a lot of Packers.
That's funny. I didn't even make that connection. Like I could think of some kind of Norse thing or something for Denmark, but yeah, didn't even think of that. When you look at a full house like you've got tonight, and your team is not on the field, how happy does that make you?
The crowds here are tremendous, and the whole little Green Bay area, everybody. I mean, obviously, Circle Tap was playing to be more full. But
big crowd last night. You guys were late onto the field.
Yep. It's been really good, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger as long as Mother Nature stays out of the way here. It's been a pain in the butt right now. So
that was quite the flash storm that we had around 3 o'clock.
I mean, the Monday one we expected. We knew it was coming. That's why we moved 7 games to Sunday night, which was tremendous for all the teams that supported, and obviously Rich did a great job with that one, and everybody, you guys included. But today's was just absolutely unexpected.
Next couple days look all right.
Good from here on in, so.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hot. I think you're going to be selling a lot of beer over the next couple of days as people are looking to stay refreshed.
We got a lot of it here.
That's a good thing. You got a lot of that happening, right? So you guys are all right with that. Darren, you've got 2 teams, or you had 2 teams here in the tournament, but you've been supporting 2 teams all year, Warner Springs Chippers and, of course, the flagship, the Circle Top Dukes. But it's been a good season all the way around.
Yeah, obviously, love the softball, goes way back.
So in getting 2 teams out of the Circle Tap team was a little more of a powerhouse team. Then we try to keep a bunch of local kids playing with the Chippers yet, trying to get them playing. So they're already out of it, so it didn't work out quite as planned, but that happens.
But they had a good season, and I mean, a little bit unfortunate, that they were out early, but they had a good season. Won the tournament up in Michigan that they played in Petoskey, and knocked off a couple of bigger teams over the course of the season too.
They played well. There's a lot of young kids playing, so and it brought about 4 Aussies over with them, and they gelled in good with them. So
good stuff. How happy were you for Dean Kane as he was inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Everything he gets. I mean, he's single-handedly keeps the Circle Tap team alive. He does, like I said, I've announced it numerous times. I've said numerous times. All I do is pay the bills. He's got all the shit jobs, and he's doing all the work. So he earned everything he gets. He's been doing it for a long time too. I mean, I started sponsoring in 1995, and he came around early 2000. So he does a lot of work.
We're really happy for Dean and his involvement in the ISC. We've gotten to know Dean over the years, and that was a great thing to see. And obviously very emotional about it on Sunday, but this is such a big part of his life. That was great to see. Bases loaded here for Quentin Bruce at the plate. And again, a spot of trouble for Jack Bestgrove as a couple of walks has put some guys aboard. Tyler Pauli at first, Brandon Horns out at second base, and David Galino, who led off with that solid single, occupies third at the moment, and a big moment in the game here for Bestgrove and the Gremlins on one side, Quentin Bruce and the Bear Creek Express on the other, and that's chopped foul. Nick Mullins still like a cat behind the plate.
He is. I don't think most would say it was an easy off-season for him, based on he probably put on a couple LBs, it looks like, but. I'm just all over him tonight.
Oh,
he's my best buddy, so I can do that.
Them.
No, he's the captain back there, and he kind of runs this team. So this will be a big pitch call right here.
Upstairs to Quentin Bruce.
He's looking for get this guy out himself right here. I mean, that's if he moves the ball here, it's a run. So
they're going to ask, and
that was pretty close.
Yeah, that's a 50-50 coin toss right there. Oh my goodness!
Speak of Dean.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
That could come back to be a big call right there.
Mm-hmm. That one is laced out of play, and we're talking with Darren Derricks, the proprietor here at the world-famous Circle Tap Bar and Grill. Darren, what's the future hold? You've gotten involved with this team. You've got a real great team on the field with some veterans like Matty and Devin McCullough and some others. Where do you guys go from here? Bigger and better?
Well, we'll probably try to keep the same nucleus all together again. Head over to Vancouver next year. Never been there before, so looking forward to that.
You're in for a treat. One of the prettiest cities in North America. Yeah.
Can't wait to get there.
And things will be at a 30% discount for you on the U.S. dollar, too. Hit Bruce on the
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah, I did too,
maybe did it ricochet off somebody first, or 3-2 count, nowhere to put him. You got to get him to chase. Called strike 3. Bruce
that's a pretty good
is
pitch.
Real upset.
Comes Stewart again.
Well, Doug Charlton was coming down to get Bruce. Yeah, John Stewart burst out of the dugout there for a minute, too. Inside corner, Joe Todd will tell you, don't leave it in the hands of the umpire.
Yeah.
And he hits Colin Walsh in between the numbers, who flips the bat. And Colin Walsh is not the most even-tempered of guys sometimes when he gets angry, but he stalked down to first, but never looked to his left. And why anybody on Bear Creek would think that he hit him on purpose to tie the game in the winter bracket semifinal is beyond me. It hits him up on the arm guard.
Yeah.
I thought it got him in the back, but it hit him up on the arm guard.
Yep, absolutely not on purpose.
Why would you hit anybody on purpose
No.
to bring in the run with the base? Like, come on.
But nobody wants to get hit
Of
either,
course
right?
not.
So
Of course
you're
not.
a little upset and emotions get you, and then you got
Yeah.
guys looking over at you, and you just want to, you need a minute just to recover. But it's also good for him to look at this young kid and say, hey, I don't care who you are.
Ryan Boland, Vladislav Maler-Zuk will flip over and make the grab. But that had a chance to get through for a moment, but Maler-Zuk able to intercept that. Been chatting with Darren Derrickson, and Darren, they had the host committee from next year was in to see you guys. What were some of the things that you talked about with Greg Tim? They were in to learn some lessons, they said. What would you tell them?
Well, they definitely told them they need a lot of volunteers, and they're talking about the missions, the gate, the field work, and how many people that do all the stuff we do. And I just told them you got to set up a host committee. You got to set up one. Your best bet is don't try to do everything yourself. Just put somebody in charge of each category and just trust them. Yeah. They said if something goes wrong at the end, then have them come to you, but don't try to do it all yourself because it's too big of a product. Try doing it, and because it's such a big event. You see something that's 8 days long, so you got to wear people out. It's just trust your help and get enough help. Because they said don't try to give them some days off in between because it gets long. 8 days is a long time.
Saying 200 minimum, 200 volunteers, you're talking 400, double that number, and I'm sure they'll pull that off in Vancouver. They've got a lot of experience with some of those big ones.
They ran a bunch of youth and some girl stuff like that, and they got all kinds of people there for it already. So they're definitely ready to go. They're excited, so that's a good thing right off the bat. They've got the right attitude.
When you see games like this, does it just keep that fire burning for you? I mean, you've been a softball guy forever.
Yeah, well, I see games like this, and I just wish Circle Tap was playing.
Well, you're not far off. I mean, you're going to be right out there in the diamond tomorrow morning, and you're going to be in a good one.
This is what it's all about right here. These guys are best of the best, and right now from here on in, there's no more blowouts. It's all every pitch matters. So.
Saturday for them.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Love watching you guys play. Love watching all of these teams play. We're pretty fortunate we get to see that top four up in Simcoe a couple of times this season, and you guys made the trip up to Tavistock. How was that for you guys?
Good. Played a lot of different teams. Got different teams. Good ball the whole around. So seems like all the boys enjoyed it.
Yeah, some of these small towns in Ontario, very similar to Denmark. You look out, you see the cornfields and things like that. You could be in much the same place.
The Moncton tournament.
Oh,
we
used
to go there all.
Moncton, Ontario. Yep.
Boys summer on Thursday. Moncton did it for years. Why can't we do it Thursday? And it was a great tournament. So great crowds and all that. So I used to love going there.
Home run derby.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah.
Yeah. Boys this summer, one of the biggest events on the tournament circuit. Bigger and better next year.
Yeah, well, 16's the max we can take like that. we're fortunate enough, we're not gonna wood, but we've never had a problem filling it. So we send a thing out early. Dean Kane does all that, not me. So he sends it out early, and we get a bunch of teams reply right away. And there's always someone new that comes on and wants to come to it. And it's easier to get teams when all the other good teams come.
That's right.
You know, so they come and they'll go.
We got more visitors in the booth. Shane Boland is knocking on the door and is dropping off something for Luciano. Very nice. So a base hit for Matty. I can just tell by the hand clap, the vertical hand clap, that Matty Waugh is aboard with a base hit. And back and forth these teams will go.
Did you get a little nervous today when you saw that rain coming in?
I didn't even know it. For a little bit. All of a sudden they call me, it's pouring. I'm like, you gotta be bloody kidding me. I'm like, it wasn't even supposed to rain. And then I said, and it just poured. And they said, well, we're gonna be a while. I'm like, well, how long? I'm thinking it's gonna be done pretty quick. I get here and just mug. Like, we came here to hit, and I took maybe 5 swings, and it just poured, and we all went under the tent. We thought it was going to pass by, and I pulled up my phone. I'm like, oh, this might stick around for a little bit. And then we look at the field, and obviously there's no tarp because it came in so fast, and it was underwater. These guys did an excellent job to get this thing ready to go in a couple hours.
Absolutely. Tremendous work by the crew here. And your lead guy, and I'm sorry, I'm getting old. I forget the name of your lead guy here who does all the grounds crew stuff.
Mark Lortz. Everybody calls him Lortz. I said, this is supposed to be easier for him. Boys of Summer, he's got to do that and cook. This time he's just got to do the field. But this time it rained. Last time in 2019, all we were spoiled because we had good weather all the way through. We had 1 rain delay for an hour. The whole while through.
Right around the same time in the week, yeah.
Lost a whole day, which is it's a kick in the you know what, and then losing the whole day hurts when you're the host. Yeah. And little stuff like today. Because what we don't have, like other places do have, is parking. So we have to rent a field for the cheese factory across the street. So we're in a field parking all the
people parking there. Or not, yeah.
And it's all one challenge after the next.
Well, you guys handled it well and got the field ready. And I understand that they're playing up in Denmark as well. So that's great. Just a fantastic place to be. I know we were super excited to be coming back here in 2023. Personally, was looking forward to it, and it's you guys have put on such a great show, and you guys really have set the standard high and set the bar high.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, it helps when you've been to 30 world tournaments. You just start taking the best of each one of them, what they all have, and try to put it there and like put it all together. So you try to know what the players want, fans want, and everybody. So you just try to put it together.
Talking to a lot of the players. You know, where do you like to go? Where do you like to go? And some guys have their spots, but you can tell when you talk to a majority of the guys, it's like, well, this is a pretty good little spot right here.
Boland out to chat with Cleary very quickly about signals with Matty Waugh on second base. That's a permitted conference. The umpire goes with him to make sure we're only talking about signals and nothing else. Ryan Boland often wears a path back and forth out to the pitching circle, but not so much this year. Ben Anoka at the plate.
Was that a new rule this year?
That was brought in this year to help speed up the game.
Yeah, I like it.
We looked at... Well, it was South Americans and Newfoundlanders.
For J&B.
Yeah. No, I mean when you look at a game that can be played in 2 hours and 10 minutes, it's taking 2 hours and 35. Why is it taking 2 hours and 35? One of the things is the constant back and forth and the infield coming in. So if we can limit that, and that is something that's manageable, and it's worked. I mean, we've been running with that rule in Softball Canada for a couple of years. We brought it in the play in Ontario this year, and it made a difference. I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 minutes a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a huge amount, but when you're running a tournament, 7 games on a diamond every day, that's 70 minutes. Right. That's an hour.
Yep. I like the pitch clock, when we go international and the WBSC and things like that, because we've been a part of some marathon games, in those deals for sure.
Cleary, that's about as much emotion you see out of Sean
thinking the
Cleary
same
right
thing.
there. He came in most of the way to the plate to express displeasure at not getting that call.
He knows the importance of falling behind to somebody like Benny Noka, who sees him well as it is, right?
Well, 2-0 count and Matty Waugh out on second base. You don't want to have to come in unnecessarily to Ben Anoka. And 3-0.
Again? They've been doing it all year? Oh, they did? It hasn't been Cleary for 5, Schofield for 2 most of the year?
That's been the story all year. That's been the pattern. I haven't seen Schofield up yet.
And there's not much action going on over there now.
In for a strike. Ben Anoka taking all the way.
Oh, Sean's not happy.
Deep breath from Cleary. Ball 4, Boland retrieves it before it rolls too far towards the fence. And Eric Ochoa will get an opportunity to bat with a pair of runners aboard.
Yeah, that's not like Matty Waugh not to get a pretty good jump on that ball and get there.
So, Darren, as we get time, as we get a mound visit from John Stewart. Darren, what do you do next week? Do you take a deep breath and get a couple extra hours of sleep?
Yeah, I'm going to, well, actually, so it's my wife's birthday today. Same as Matty P's. It's Matty P's birthday, same day. So anyway, we always go to the Dells for a few days. So get out here and come back on Tuesday or Wednesday and just figure everything out. Yeah, because a lot of hours here, but it's fun though. I love softball, so it's a lot more fun. When you go to work, you're having a good time. It's not easier, you know.
That's right.
Mother Nature is winning right now, but once we beat them, we'll be all right.
No, well, that's good. I think the forecast for the rest of the week is going to look really favorable for us. It's supposed to be hot.
Last night, that's the windiest I've ever seen this place.
Yes.
I've never seen something like that all the years I've been here. I mean, there's fly balls that are landing in the infield. It's just, it was weird.
Yeah, it was a different night indeed. Darren Derricks, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. You're more than welcome to stay and hang out for a while.
Dog up there again a while, so. But I appreciate you guys doing a great job. We were listening before, so really good job. Really thank you very much.
Everything that you do to bring the ISC here.
Thanks, man.
All right, and indeed, we'll be right back here for 10 a.m. tomorrow, Circle Tap and the Toronto Batmen. So another Wisconsin-Ontario battle. There have been a lot of them here this week already.
There has.
All right. Darren Derricks, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boss.
Thank you. Good luck, you guys. Good job. Let me know if you need a drink.
Ochoa, first pitch, a little slow roller to short, and mishandled by Lyons.
Little E6 on
and
that,
a tough inning is turning even tougher here. I might go E3 on this, to be honest. It's a low throw, but he's got to dig that out at first.
Yeah, I think Galena thought Horny was going to cut that thing off. Kind of gave up on it a little bit.
So bases loaded with one out. Cole Evans, who hit a moonshot.
Yes, he did.
You said E6 and I wrote it down, but I actually meant to write down E3.
E3.
I'm going to go E3 on that. I know it was a low throw, but that's got to get dug out.
Got to pick it.
Runner for Ochoa. Gonzo Masmu on to run. And that's a nice little pickup for the Gremlins, too. Comes over from the Twins squad. And some action again, and this time it is Schofield that gets up, just playing lawn toss right now, but I got to think he'll be warming up with some urgency here, Matt.
Yep. I was waiting for that move, and, you know, this lineup's so tough. You see these guys a couple times through, and Sean's done a really good job, and he's got himself just in a little bit of jam here, so he needs to make some pitches. That's a good start.
In with a strike, and that one might have had some more zip on it than we've seen all game.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean throws upper 70s into the low 80s, but that had some zip.
It did. Yep, he's ramped up right now for sure. Just hope he can stay on the edges and you know, get out of the inning is what he's thinking.
Again, the deep breath from Cleary. I'm not sure if he crossed up Boland on that or not, but that got a bite out of Boland. And
yeah, it did.
well, now the umpires are going to get together to talk about it. Boland is saying foul ball.
Well, you would assume it hit something, right?
He's not going to miss the pitch.
Miss it.
Yeah, we'll see it here. Yeah, it looked like it hit the handle of the bat and then ricocheted down.
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, and 2 indeed. So they did get the foul ball count.
I think you got to go upstairs here.
Yeah, I don't think you can go down after that home run.
Nope, and you're really looking for a strikeout.
Well, they went down, and he swings right through it.
Similar to the pitch he left the yard with, right?
That is a huge strikeout.
I think Sean had a little extra on that one.
Yeah.
He did. That ball really cut in.
Yeah, it did. It cut into the inside corner.
Yeah, that's one heck of a pitch right there in a big situation.
But now you got to face Brian Avery, who has struck out and flied out to Brandon Horn on what was an adventure of a catch.
Abe's is another guy that seems like he finds himself in these situations, right?
He does.
And more times than not, he comes out on top, so this will be a great Canadian matchup right here.
In for a strike. You've got a guy who knows Sean very well. Caught for Sean at the Pan Am qualifier down in Paraná last April, year and a half ago, so he knows what Sean's all about. You've got to guess or make an educated guess about what he and Boland are now thinking.
Yep, it's a chess match out there for sure in every pitch, and right now, you know, Sean's he looks pretty tough.
Chases upstairs and well off the plate, too. Not a pitch that you associate Brian Avery chasing after.
Nope. These next couple pitches, I think, dictates the rest of this game. There's going to be a momentum shift one way or the other based on the next couple of pitches. So this has got the writing for one of those finishes, right?
Well, at advantage Cleary here at 0-2, but if Avery can work back to even in the count, maybe it shifts again. And this is the great thing, you know, small momentum shifts even within an at-bat.
Absolutely.
Similar pitch and fouled off the post. Everybody is so enthralled in this one. Schofield just went back to warming up. He's been watching the last 3 pitches.
How do you not, right?
I think back to 2016 and the ISC championship game, and Justin Schofield's supposed to be on the other diamond warming up, and Shane Boland in the midst of hitting a home run, and Schofield's on the other diamond. I'm not sure that he got to see it.
Sean's way up here. He needs to, throw his pitch, and I thought the last one was probably a little closer than he would have liked.
He's got an opportunity. Doesn't need to throw a strike here.
No, you got to throw a ball here.
Yeah, tried to get him to chase again. Yeah, he went after that on the strike 2 pitch.
Yep, he did, and changed the eye level there, and now you've got options here.
Yeah, you can go with the change up down and away. You can go with the rise up and in. That cutter that he threw into Cole Evans was a devastating pitch.
That could be the same pitch here.
Yeah.
Right, down and in. keep it off the plate a little bit, or, you know, Sean always with that lifter is challenging. With Abe's, you got to give it above his hands, though. Yep.
Well, that was the 3/4 rise ball too, right? Like that's not the full rise, but
Yep.
You talked about getting it above the hands, and it absolutely was.
Yeah, it was. It's a good pitch. Good job of Avery to foul it off, because there's just, you know, you're not going to drive that pitch.
No, I think you're lucky if you just pop that up on the infield.
Yep. Now Abe's is known to, you know, chase, but Abe's also known to kind of get the barrel above that a little bit too. His hands are outstanding, and I don't know how you don't. I mean, you have a pitch to waste, but I think you can go right back upstairs. Yep, he did.
Yeah, they went inside this time and off the hands. What was your quick thought on the change to the yellow ball?
I always liked. I loved playing internationally with the yellow ball. You know, I didn't necessarily like the Mizuno ball because I thought it got a little mushy later in the game, but I was all for it. It's nice to have one ball that you use for everything too, versus going across over the seas and, you know.
Yeah, back and forth. Cleary can't quite get to the same agreement with Boland, and to your earlier point, that may even just be for effect here too.
Absolutely. One of the biggest pitches in the game here coming up right here.
Little weak fly ball.
Yep,
Galino will haul that in one step out onto the grass. The Gremlins will leave the bases loaded with one out. A big escape for Sean Cleary and the Bear Creek Express. We're tied at 3. We're going to go to the top of the 6th. Don't miss the end of this one.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcast.
Jason Hill will lead things off for the Bear Creek Express. Matt, this crowd's still buzzing about that escape by Cleary and the Express from that bases loaded jam.
Yeah, that was a great pitch. He took some off that lifter and got Brian to get off the end of the bat, a little up front. Westgrove's got to be careful here.
Well, a little bleeder to Jack Besgrove himself. He'll trot most of the way to first. And Matt, I've seen guys throw underhand from the edge of the circle. That's a long underhand toss from the edge of the circle. Besgrove got a little closer.
Couple steps, good composure, knew he had plenty of time. Lions got things going early for these guys, right? On drawing that big walk. We'll see if he can have another quality at bat here.
Big uppercut swing comes up empty.
late movement from Molly back there, which is good. This kid knows exactly where the ball's going. So there's going to be no helpful hints over there on deck with Molly back there.
And we've seen that all season long
Yeah.
from Nick Mullins. And he'll even dart inside and then back out at times too. Yeah.
There's a reason he's one of the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Lyons does him a favor, chases downstairs for strike 3. David Galino, 2 for 2. Home run, a single, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Great getting production out of the 9 guy in your batting order.
Absolutely. He's having a nice game here, and, with a couple outs, if he can get something going, and, you got a couple hot bats behind you.
Called a strike. And in for strike 2. And Matt, it seems like it's often the case. The deeper you get into a game like this, the better the best become.
Absolutely. They're focused. They're dialed in. These guys are making the right pitches, and they got guys like Moley and Bolin behind them, talking to him the whole time, and just makes them even better.
Well, we certainly saw that last night from Huemo Mata as well. 6th inning on, he really bowed his neck. Yeah. And, we talked about the pitch count, but he was throwing harder 6 through 10 than he did in the first 5.
Yeah, it was very impressive. And that's, why he's one of the top in the world.
Galino down on strikes, a 1-2-3 inning for Jack Besgrove. In the top of the 6th, the Gremlins to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Coming up for them, Blake Hunter, Ladislav Mallerzuk, Nick Mullins, 7, 8, 9. We'll see how that transpires. Stay with us. Blair Sedford, Matt Palazzo on the ISC Network.
The New York Gremlins congratulate our own Dr. Bob Neidick on his induction to the ISC Hall of Fame as this year's recipient of the Bob Welby Memorial Recognition of Service Award. Dr. Bob is a 4-time ISC World Champ, winning his first 2 titles with the Kitchener River Shark Twins in 2008 and 2009. His second 2 came with us in 2018 and 2019. And he says, we're not done. Bob started in the game when he was 17 in Pennsylvania and played in a national championship in 1996. His first ISC World Tournament was 2004 in Fargo, North Dakota. Since 2012, he's been a Gremlins co-sponsor, and we couldn't be prouder of him to be recognized for all of his contributions to the game.
Congratulations, Dr. Bob.
Sean Cleary back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. Justin Schofield has gone back to the dugout for now. Blake Hunter, Ladislav Mallerzuk, and Nick Mullins.
You wonder at what point Zenon Winters has got a bat in his hand over there swinging behind the dugout.
Probably about 20 minutes before first pitch would be my guess.
Batting gloves on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gritting his teeth, too. Yeah. You can probably hear him grinding them from here.
No doubt about it.
In for a strike. 0-2. Cleary. Whatever bedevils Sean in the first innings certainly is not a problem later in the game, because he's been working ahead of guys. He worked out of that jam in the 5th.
Looks pretty comfortable out there right now.
And what we haven't seen tonight is the infamous Sean Cleary landscaping. Whoever did all the work on the mound, Mark Loritz and his crew, did a great job of making that, smoothing out that landing pad. It's actually probably the best thing that could have happened, because that, honestly, it was taking a beating out there earlier in the day, and there were a lot of puddles around that area. But they put down a lot of powder and pounded it down.
Yeah. No, Dev was saying the same thing when before we went, because he struggled a little bit in ASAs with landing, and he said he couldn't wait to get here because the mound's so good. Oh, that's a good pitch right there.
Just misses downstairs.
That's tough to take.
Yeah, a bit of courage to take that pitch with 2 strikes, but 2-2. Blake Hunter, veteran eye at the plate.
Yep, he saw it better than we did, that's for sure.
And this is a little
Nice
short
hit.
flare over Tyler Pauli's head. Blake Hunter will be upset with only a single.
He's not used to that.
No, not at all.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, went down and got it and just punched that out onto the grass. We'll get a pinch runner as Tani Mumu will make an appearance. Another young Kiwi, and you know, we were talking to Ricky Early a little bit earlier, and here's a young Kiwi who's come over and spent the last couple seasons with the Gremlins, soaking up the championship atmosphere and making the most out of his opportunities. And he was a really good young player on the Major Sox. The New Zealand U23 team got the opportunity to work that tournament earlier this year in April. And I think it's been a disappointing cycle for New Zealand softball, to be quite frank. The Black Sox finishing out of the Super Round and the Major Sox finishing 6th. But there are some very good individual young players coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And how good for him, you know, in his young age to get over here and the likes of, you know, Benny and Romy and, you know, these veteran Kiwi players.
Ladislav Maller-Zook swings at that first offering. Surprised not putting the ball down here. I know it's not something you often see here with the big teams, and Greg Leather's not a big bunting fan, but this late in the game?
Yeah, he may have given him one swing, and then you might see something different here.
Because this is the guy that can handle the bat, too.
Yeah, he's not worried about having 2 chances. Nope.
This one is short right. Walsh calls off Pauli, and he'll reel that in for the first out of the inning, and a good out to get without Tani Mumu being able to advance.
Yep, Lottie's been in some big games. You know, moments never too big for him, and you know, remember him hitting home runs off some of the best in the world, you know, late in the game. So I'm sure that was going through Leather's head as well. Just one swing of the bat to change this thing.
He clobbered one earlier in the week. Nick Mullins to the plate. Mullins is 1 for 2. He had the single back.
The second?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep, 5-6 hole.
Yeah.
Hit it hard.
That's right, yeah. Had a notion to go. They're going to ask down at first. Nope, says Randy McLam. I would tend to agree. Looked like.
You know, it's interesting. There was just a few weeks ago, we spent a couple weeks in Tampa, my family and I, on vacation. I was flying into Elkland and into Mankato in between that. And Molly and Cheesy and Danielle and Jackson, you know, they came down, and Kinsey and stayed with us for a couple days. And we talked about games like this. And just me, him, and Cheese sitting on the couch, having a beer, talking about games like this.
On the move was Tani Mumu. A little bit of hit and run from Greg Leather and the Gremlins, or maybe Reese Casely. So no opportunity for the double play. I don't think they were going to have it anyway, given how high that hopper was. But they get Mullins at first. Up to second goes Mumu.
And not what Molly wanted right there, but by getting him to second base, turning over the lineup, now you're one swing away from potentially, going on top. So that could prove to be big right here.
Well, Matty Waugh, 2 for 3, home run and a single, also a ground out. And he's been on Sean Cleary tonight, too. Like, even the foul balls have been just missing.
Yep, he has. And I feel like Sean's, historically had pretty good success, at the top with Matty. However, Matty's kind of got his number tonight.
That misses out and away. Yeah, that podcast appearance by Andrew Kirkpatrick talked about staying with Nick Mullins and the things that they work on every day in practice. And Nick came in at the end of the episode, and Nick wants to have some fun there, but he couldn't help himself but to be serious.
He was serious. Yeah. I thought the same thing listening to it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time for those guys to unwind after, some training and whatever.
Yeah.
And don't kid yourself, there's plenty of fun being had there.
Cleary again will back off. Matty Waugh will stretch out the back. Tony Mumu's out at second base. He represents Blake Hunter. Just off the outside corner. Cleary. Little wry grin from the Iceman.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pitch right there. It's like you said earlier, Sean. You don't see a ton of emotion out there, and he knows the importance of this game.
Well, it's funny. I mean, we're into the 6th. It's a 3-3 ball game. 2 of the best teams in men's fast pitch softball. Nobody's complaining about the time that it's taken to play this game right now.
Absolutely,
it's not even crossed my mind or anybody else's.
Not at all.
Swing and a miss over a beautiful drop from Sean Cleary.
Watching Mumu at second base a little bit, and there was some movement there pre-pitch. I wonder if he's figured this thing out in the sequence.
Well, if he's using the Kiwi methodology of the side of the base for in and out. And just off the corner, so we'll go to 3-2 on Matthew Waugh. The new chin guards make it harder to do the mouth open, mouth closed for up or down too.
For sure. And Matty Waugh was one of the guys that we'd have picks, and he was just that he didn't want anything.
No. Matty is so methodical. Oh yeah, he's so methodical at the plate too. He comes up, he draws the line. That, and very cerebral. Writes down every. I'm sure you guys see it in the bench. Upstairs, ball 4. That pitch not close.
Yep, he's not going to chase that.
Well, a big, we talked about a big moment last inning. Here's another big moment in a game full of them. Jerome Remeke will come up with 2 guys aboard. A big solo bomb leading off the 3rd inning.
Yeah, this opening pitch here is going to be big for Sean.
Again, the big exhale. Upstairs, ball 1.
I think it was the first pitch that Romy hit from Sean in the first, right?
It was, yeah. He just jumped on it.
Yep.
Drop in the outside corner, no swing, says Trevor Topping. Two and 0 count. Matt, in 2-0 count, what are you looking for here in this type of situation? You're just zoning in on one particular spot?
Absolutely. One pitch, one spot, kind of giving away one side of the plate. You know, me personally anyway, and I think Romy's a lot of like. And I would have said lifter on the outer half personally. I think Sean probably wanted that first strike right there. It was pretty close.
We see that one again, Luciano? Can we see that pitch?
That's at the belt. Maybe just a touch.
Touch high, and
yep.
Maybe, is it off the corner? Because Boland is set up just a bit outside.
Yeah, maybe just a bit up.
3-0 count. Got to think there's a green light here.
Absolutely, there is.
Ball 4, and that's 5 straight pitches where been a little close, but not much. And
yeah.
Boland's going to sneak in a visit here with Cleary and signals, and not sure if down in Arizona that our home plate umpire Mark Karras speaks Newfie, but
yeah, they've got, fresh count now. Obviously Ben's had some success off Sean over the last couple weeks, but it's Sean Cleary. Anything can happen right here, and if he makes good pitches, he's extremely tough to square up. The reason he's been one of the best in the world for as long as he's been around.
Well, he got out of a similar situation the last inning. He's going to have to do it again. Ben Anoka, first pitch swinging.
He did. He got out.
Up to short center, and actually making the catch is Jordan Pomeroy about 2 steps from the dirt. He came flying in out of nowhere and called off David Galino. Wow. First pitch swinging, a little surprise, but a big escape for Sean Cleary again and the Bear Creek Express. They'll try to get back on track in the 7th. We go, tied 3-3.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
My name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold.
My name is Pablo Miglevaca from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Villalbazo, pitcher de la Selección de México, y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Foca. I play for the Hill United Chiefs from Australia.
Back to the top for Bear Creek in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, top of the 7th, top of the shop. Jordan Pomeroy not had any success tonight. 3 strikeouts. First pitch swinging, deep right field, way back and gone.
Wow.
Jordan Pomeroy rocks the world with that first pitch home run.
That ball was right over the heart of the plate as well, and he left it up.
The entire bench for the Express comes out to greet Jordan Pomeroy at home plate.
You had just talked about his lack of success for tonight.
And normally it's the curse of the broadcaster, but the last couple of nights, Cole Evans and Jordan Pomeroy should be buying drinks on the broadcast crew.
No doubt. That ball was
No, that was gone in a heartbeat, too.
He knew it right off the barrel.
Greg Leather out to calm the nerves of this Gremlin team. The rest of the team's been there, but in an ISC, Jack Bestgrove hasn't.
Right. And this is only going to be growth for him as they go, deeper into this tournament. Win or lose this game, this kid's going to learn a ton from tonight.
Brandon Horn turns, thinks about a bunt, and that's never a bad thing after a home run, is to try to put one down.
Yeah, now you got the boys over on the first base banging on the fence, and they know they've got a younger fella out there, and they're trying to get inside the helmet a little bit.
They asked down at third, and Trevor Topping said no. Horn looked like he had pulled it back.
Yep, I thought so too.
And there's a strike on the outside corner. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Brandon Horn, who has just an absolute wealth of experience in these situations.
He does. He's been there before, so this isn't new for him. He doesn't have a ton of jitters or anything like that in the box like somebody else might.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Besgrove's working
Horn.
awful quick right now. I've noticed the tempo's even sped up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great pitch.
Just off the outside corner. Yeah, that's a courageous look at 2 strikes.
Yes, it was.
Thought about chasing after it. Fooled everybody. Mullins was staggered.
They tried sneaking one inside there. Let's see what goes on here.
Ball 4. So a home run followed by a walk where he had Brandon Horn 1-1.
Second baseman number 6, Tyler.
Good AB, good veteran at bat for Brandon Horn.
Besgrove needs to just take a deep breath right here, start making his pitches like he always does, and he'll get out of this inning. Not sure where that one was. Maybe he thought it was a little up.
Oh, well, that's why the ISC 2 game hasn't started yet. The ongoing Legends game is 14-5 in the bottom of the 7th. So a snowball fight going on in the Legends game up in the upper diamond at Denmark. We'll keep an eye on that over the course of the night. And thanks to our good friends at Oma Tigre, who will be streaming the ISC 2 championship game. You can put that one on your phone and keep this one on the big screen. Tyler Pauli at the plate with Brandon Horn out at first. Pauli squares again and takes another ball.
The 2-1.
3-1 now.
3-1. He showed bunt a couple times. This might be a good time to let him take a hack. Oof.
He went after it.
Yep. Got the lifter, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, he sent one over the tent in right field early in the week against the Lacey A's. That's 3 home runs now for Jordan Pomeroy. Chopper on the infield. Besgrove didn't even look at second. He just turned right by it. He flashed by it and got the out at first.
Well, that's just as good as the bunt attempt early in the at-bat, right?
Mm-hmm. Quentin Bruce will be looking to atone for that called third strike back in the 5th. That gets away from Mullins, and Brandon Horn will scoot up to third base unmolested.
Mully's went in a couple times now on Bruce early in counts, and I wonder if, he's understanding they're trying to work. He looks like he's a little bit closer to the plate than most.
Ways over top of that. Good changeup from Jack Besgrove. A guy that age who's got a changeup that fully developed, it's almost unfair.
Yep, it's really good, and he's obviously got tons of pace on the ball, so it makes it even more detrimental.
High hopper on the infield. That's going to get through. Brandon Horn will come in to score easy, and there is the... you get that pass ball, wild pitch, whatever you want to call it, and there's the effect as maybe he scores on that, maybe not, as Ben Anoka got to that ball, would get to that ball a lot quicker if Brandon Horn is trying to score from second.
There'd be a play at the plate for sure. It feels like that, there's a 5-foot area right around that dish that's pretty hard, right? And you see the trampoline-like effect there on some of these.
Well, they put the clay bricks in the batter's box and in front, and obviously out at the board as well. Greg Leather is going to come down, and that is going to be it for Jack Besgrove. We talked off the top, this Express team is one of the very few that scored some runs off of him this season and had some good at-bats. They've seen him multiple times, too. So,
these
Jack Besgrove.
They share a glove. Never seen that before.
That was different. We'll take a break as Andrew Kirkpatrick comes on. Colin Walsh will face Andrew Kirkpatrick, and first pitch up and away. And what's with the glove? Andrew Kirkpatrick came out without a glove on, and Jack Besgrove handed him the glove.
Yeah, whose glove is it?
Up and in to Walsh, ball 2. And who forgot theirs at the hotel? That's got to be a fine.
Yeah, that's definitely a fine. I'm going to find out, but if they can't come back and win this, I'm probably not going to find out tonight.
Yeah, it might be a couple of weeks before you find that one out. But text us. We can tell the story to the Canadians next week. 3-0 to Colin Walsh. Got to think taking all the way here. In for a strike. I mean, as a batter, I always like to look for that first pitch from a guy coming in, and usually, he was going to want to get ahead and throw a strike. But
and cheesy, he's going to be around the dish. It's going to have plenty of pace on it. It's spinning like crazy, and you got to jump on somebody like him early.
As a left-handed batter, it just felt like he was walking up and handing you the ball.
Yep, he is. To me, he's the toughest guy in the game to face. As a left-handed hitter. Luckily, I played with him for as long as I did.
Downstairs, a walk to Colin Walsh, and the Express here in the 7th inning have got things going their way. 2 runs in to take a 5-3 lead. A shocking first pitch bomb by Jordan Pomeroy. Upstairs to Ryan Boland, who has had some success off of Andrew Kirkpatrick over the years.
He has, lefty-lefty matchup that, he's seen him definitely better than most lefties, that's for sure.
Little grounder out to Mallard-Zook, comes up, hits him on the chest, underhand toss to first. They get Boland, but he moves the runners up 60 feet each.
Yeah, I thought that was a double play off the bat for sure.
I would have thought so too, but it just took a little extra hop, and you can see Mallard-Zook shaking his head as you see it just comes up on him.
Yeah, it did. Pretty close at first.
Yeah, Boland, who runs well for a catcher. Hates it when I say that. Jason Hill, first pitch swinging, and a sidearm casual toss by Andrew Kirkpatrick.
Yep, the old frustration, get me out of here. And
they escape the inning. But the New York Gremlins will have some work to do as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bear Creek Express, 3 outs away from an appearance in the winner's bracket final.
catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Four, 5, 6 for the New York Gremlins, chasing 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's not often that this team has trailed. Eric Ochoa, Cole Evans, Brian Avery, Matt Palazzo, 3 pretty good guys that you got coming to the plate. This is not going to be an easy test here for Sean Cleary to close the door.
Nope, they're not just going to hand it over. He's going to have to battle here, and, one of these guys gets on, and you know how that can happen.
The 2-run lead, that extra run, very crucial. First pitch swinging, Ochoa skies this one. It looks like that's going to get out of play, and it will.
Yep. Yeah, scoring 2 there against this lineup is big for Sean. He knows he can go right after these guys, challenge them, and make some good pitches.
And that's going to be the key, is to go challenge.
Yeah.
Because
no walks.
Yeah, you can't put the tying run into the batter's box, because with one swing, any of these guys, 1 through 9, and 3 of the guys that are going to come off the bench can hit the ball out of the park at a moment's notice.
Absolutely, and they've proven that time and time again.
Called a strike on that outside corner.
Really good pitch right there. Looked almost like he took a little bit off that dipper a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of that 3/4 change, right? It's not the full change up, but it's not full speed either. And Ochoa's a good guy to throw that to, because he swings hard every pitch.
He's swinging from the hips.
Nobody in the bullpen for the Bear Creek Express. This is Sean Cleary's game, and rightfully so. Misses upstairs. Run the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Right side of the infield, expect something hot here, right?
He is a pull hitter, without a doubt. Just off the outside corner. Cleary bent over at the waist, wanted that call.
Yeah, Bolin wanted that one too. That's pretty close.
Well, you look where Boley's set up, and he catches that over the right knee, and it's outside the chalk line in the other batter's box. Now, our angle is not dead on.
Yep.
But
I think Chewy saw it right.
Yeah.
You start giving guys like Sean that pitch, and it becomes a really long night for hitters.
Oh, yeah. That's Angel Hernandez territory.
Yeah, right.
Change up and laced out to center field.
Yep, they're not going to go down easy.
They're not. And you have to wonder if maybe Ochoa was sitting on the changeup during that pitch, because that did not fool him in the least.
It did not.
He hung it and just drilled it right back up where it came from. Sean ducking underneath that line shot. And I almost think he was sitting unchanged there.
Sometimes you see something, right? And you can't point it out to the rest of your team like you'd like to, but you saw something different on whether he was coming at you, whatever it was, and just react.
Cole Evans Had a little lazy liner back at Cleary in the first. Went down and hit, I want to say, an 8-iron about 170 yards. It felt like, as he just hit a moonshot out of here in the third.
There's Zenon on deck. It was a matter of time before we saw him.
Yes. For Avery, too, which is interesting. But
it is interesting.
Brian 0 for 3 on the night. To Horn, the flip to 2 for 1. Back to first. They do not get Cole Evans.
Little high throw from Horn, but, good to get the lead runner there.
And Cole Evans running hard out of the box to prevent that double play. We've seen a couple around the horn double plays here this week. That is so tough to turn in fast pitch softball. Only 60 feet from home to first, and guys can cover that pretty quickly.
Yep, you got to have a couple special sets of hands to make that happen.
Zenon Winters to the dish. He and Ryan Boland, probably the two most intense guys in the game.
I hated playing against Zenon when I first came up. I just
imagine.
Disliked him.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and then we got into it on a game one day and almost, it got real bad. And then I played with him and I said, Jesus, I love this guy.
Well, you hear that in all sports too, right?
Yeah.
There's those guys that just
Yep.
You love being their teammate and you hate being on the other side. Whether it's a Brad Marchand or whether there are guys like that in baseball. Jose Batista was like that in baseball.
Yep. I talked to Zenon 12 months out of the year.
Yeah. Went after that first pitch pretty aggressively and fouled it straight back.
Yeah, he was trying to tie it up.
I think back to a year ago in Quad Cities. Late in the game, Zenon Winters with a 2-run home run. That put the Gremlins into the lead at the time. That was in the 4th place game. Slightly different situation here, but not much.
No, still big-time hitter versus big-time pitcher.
Chases upstairs, and that's another one that got stuck up there. Oh, did it get into the crowd?
Got into the crowd.
Because there's one stuck up in the screen.
Got some Vancouver guys down there behind the dish. As crazy as it sounds when if I'm in the field and it's 5-3, get a guy on first and you're thinking, okay, make some pitches, we're playing for outs right here. But if Zenon happens to get on base here, you've got Blake Hunter up next with a chance to win the game with one swing.
That's right. Chopper on the infield. Paulai steps on a bag, turns and throws, and they don't get Zenon Winters. But again, a good job by the Bear Creek defense to erase the lead runner.
That was a great pitch. Lions have spent a fair amount of time on the dirt on those throws at first today.
So Blake Hunter, who has been tearing the cover off of the ball all season long, takes ball one upstairs. Walked, struck out in the 4th, and then singled in the 6th. And that really was just a little flare over second base.
Yep, that was a good pitch by Sean. He got just enough to get a single out of it.
Cleary pours in a strike to even the count.
Sean's got to be getting up there on his pitch count tonight. Let's go take a look at that. He's at 138 pitches.
138. Hunter fouls this one way out the right side. That will be headed across the street to the cheese factory.
So it tells you how many, I mean, really what Mata did the other night. 138 seems like he's been out there for a while throwing at 138. Mata threw 50 more pitches.
Yeah. And he's going to start in about, whenever this game ends, whenever that might be, he's going to be right back out here today.
For another 150.
Yeah. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Gremlins down to their last strike in the winner's bracket. Missed down and out. I could hear somebody in the crowd down here. Throw it high, throw it high.
This is what you want as a hitter, though, man. Chance to tie the game up. Was it 2-2 count?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The tying run is at the plate in the form of Blake Hunter, who has been ripping it all year. Upstairs, 3-2. Let's just ratchet up the tension just a little bit more, shall we?
Yeah, you're not gonna. He doesn't want to walk him and put the go-ahead run at the dish. You're gonna get challenged right here. You just got to put a good swing on this, and this will be interesting.
I got to think drop anything just to have Blake hit it into the ground here.
Yep, I agree.
Swing and a miss. They go with the rise ball upstairs.
Way up.
Sean Cleary and the Bear Creek Express end the 32-game winning streak. And a masterpiece by Cleary here tonight.
Wow. Yeah, what a ball game.
The Express will advance to tomorrow night's winter bracket final. The Gremlins will drop down into the loser's bracket. They're going to play at least once tomorrow, possibly twice. Matt Palazzo, an absolute pleasure having you in the booth here this evening. Thanks for joining us here on the ISC Network. Your final thoughts as we wrap up just an absolute stellar ballgame, the best one we've seen here this week, maybe with the exception of the Stompers last night.
Yeah, great game. I think everybody anticipated this one to be close. Sean Clear, I mean, he did what Sean does, right? He kept an unbelievable lineup off balance. He made pitches when he needed to. They stranded a ton of runners over there on the third base side, right? Big-time hitting out of Bear Creek, and hats off to them. They just knocked the hottest team in the world off, and this is going to be an interesting finish.
Well, there's going to be indeed an interesting finish to this tournament, and we've got another good one coming up too with the Hill United Chiefs, the Niagara Stompers. Matt Palazzo, again, thanks for joining us. Great to have you here in the booth. You're always welcome to join us on the ISC Network. Good luck tomorrow morning against the Toronto Batmen. We'll be on the air with that one too. But come back and join us in about 15-20 minutes. Call it 20. For the Hill United Chiefs and the Niagara Stompers. Probably another good one.
A good one indeed.
I think so. For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball. On demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com